Have you ever felt like you are caught in a chain of negative emotions, where fear of loss and clinging to uncertainties make it hard to find peace? If the answer is yes, you are not alone. This is a problem that many people face daily in our volatile, high-pressure modern life. In the latest video from Genuine Wisdom, we'll take you on a journey to explore how Stoicism can be a life raft, helping you not only escape the whirlpool of unnecessary worries, but also find ways to live a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Through practical steps that we will share, you'll learn how to control your mind, reduce dependency on external factors, and ultimately, significantly improve the quality of your own life. Join us at the end of this video, where we will unveil essential steps to build inner peace and healthy, lasting relationships. We deeply value and admire your continual spirit of learning. You deserve all the best things, and we are here to accompany you on this path. Let's get started right now. Number 1. Creating distance, a wise step forward. In life, occasionally the wisest choice is to create space between you and others, not to isolate yourself, but to see the truth more clearly. Imagine being at a bustling party where the music blares loudly and people talk ceaselessly. Amid this chaos, trying to listen to a friend's whisper is no small feat, right? This is a metaphor for those times when we're so close to a person or a situation that our emotions become noise, obscuring clarity. The philosopher Seneca advised, "Whenever you go away, come back to yourself." This refers not just to physical space, but also the mental and emotional distance necessary. When emotions cloud judgment, stepping back helps us observe them as we would clouds drifting across the sky, recognizing that they and we are separate entities. This separation isn't about indifference. It's a way to see and respond to situations more objectively. It allows you to see the whole chessboard, not just the piece you're holding. Applying this to modern life doesn't require a country villa like the ancient Stoics. Sometimes, it's as simple as turning off your phone for an hour, taking a walk, or just sitting quietly in your room. The goal is to create a quiet space where your thoughts aren't drowned out by the noise of everyday life. In these quiet moments, we find the strength to make decisions not just based on fleeting emotions, but on deeper thought and inner wisdom. This step back, though seemingly simple, is a powerful act, a space to breathe and see beyond the fog of the present. In the Stoic theory, temporarily separating oneself from others or a situation is not just an escape strategy. It's a method to rediscover and renew oneself. By creating distance, we open the door to spiritual freedom, where we're not swayed by the immediate influences of others. This is an opportunity for you to see yourself honestly and comprehensively, gaining a deeper understanding of what truly matters to you and what is merely a surface reaction to circumstances. Detaching from the usual influences allows us to see more clearly the true nature of things. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "Regularly assess what is deemed essential." This enables us to be more resolute in our decisions, not swayed by temporary emotions or pressures from others. Our choices and actions will then have a firmer foundation, aimed at a purposeful and genuinely meaningful life. Moreover, this distance also helps us cultivate compassion and gratitude, as we're no longer caught in the whirlwind of demands and expectations. We learn to appreciate relationships and situations when we have time to reflect on their true value, not just what they offer on the surface. Most importantly, this quiet provides us space to listen to our inner voice, so that when we return, we can act decisively and correctly, based on the real strength and wisdom of our true selves. Number 2, realigning, establishing reasonable distance. In the journey of life, choosing to distance oneself from someone is not an impulsive decision, but the result of thoughtful reflection, embodying the alertness and ethics that Stoicism cherishes. Picture your life as a voyage across the seas, where the people around you are like currents and winds. Some help you navigate smoothly, while others might push you into treacherous waters. This is when you, as the captain, must decide which winds to harness and which storms to avoid. This decision is not about avoiding difficulties, but about adjusting your life's course to align with your values and interests. Epictetus, a Stoic master who transformed from a slave to a great philosopher, often emphasized the importance of selectively engaging with relationships that foster freedom of spirit. His life attests to the lesson. Not everyone who enters your life brings light. Some may only add darkness. Consider your relationships as mirrors. Do they reflect joy, growth, and wisdom? Or do they bring doubt, discomfort, and disappointment? Choosing to create distance is not about giving up, but about intentionally protecting yourself and maintaining moral integrity. Stoicism teaches not only about cold logic, but also about the warmth of wisdom. It challenges us to consider whether someone enriches our lives like a harmonious melody or disrupts it like a discordant note. As you ponder this, remember Epictetus's words. We are not disturbed by events themselves, but by the views we hold about them. It's not just the person, but your perception of their impact on you that matters. Are they a chapter in your story that encourages growth, or merely a footnote that mires you in stagnation? Ultimately, the decision to create distance is about crafting a life story you are proud to recount. It's about living true to yourself, your values, and your journey. Stoicism teaches us to embrace relationships that enrich our narrative and let go of those that do not. It's about building a life where each person and each experience is a thoughtfully considered addition to the broader canvas of your existence. Let's illustrate this lesson on the reasoned creation of distance through the lens of Stoicism with the story of a potter. This potter lived in a small town, spending his time crafting exquisite pottery. However, a neighbor in his community often offered baseless negative critiques of his work. Initially, the potter tried to prove the value of his creations through explanation and persuasion, but to no avail. This endeavor cost him much time and energy, affecting both the quality of his work and his focus. In light of Stoicism, the potter decided to create distance from this neighbor. He didn't cut off all contact, but chose to minimize interactions, avoiding getting drawn into unnecessary and negative debates. Instead, he spent his time studying his craft further, meeting and exchanging ideas with other potters, learning new techniques, and improving his skills. This decision opened a new chapter in the potter's life and career. His pottery not only looked more beautiful, but also more clearly reflected his dedication and unique identity. Customers and art lovers began to recognize the true value in each piece, and from there, his reputation grew. The story of the potter teaches us that sometimes creating distance is not an act of abandonment, but a strategic step to protect our energy and focus on what matters most. Stoicism emphasizes that by controlling our interactions and not letting others' negative thoughts affect us, we maintain tranquility and can develop ourselves and our endeavors more solidly. Number 3, seeking support in life's journey. When emotional life becomes as chaotic as an unfinished jigsaw puzzle and you struggle to find your way, it's time to extend your arms in search of help. Stoicism, while always emphasizing inner resilience, does not deny the importance of connecting with those around us. Opening up to a trusted friend is like finding a stable anchor amid life's tumultuous currents. This is not just an opportunity to unload burdens, but also a chance to regain clarity and perspective in life. The philosopher Seneca deeply understood that the greatest strength of a person lies not in hiding things, but in the ability to share wisdom and truth. He likened a true friend to a mirror, reflecting not just our appearance, but the deepest recesses of our souls. This reflection not only helps us see ourselves more clearly, but also helps us understand our destinations on this journey. When you share your thoughts and feelings with someone, you do not just give them your words, but you invite them into your inner world, offering them a glimpse of your true self. This creates a shared space of understanding and support, where knowledge and empathy are exchanged, not just superficial sympathy. Choose wisely the friend you confide in, one who reflects the values you aspire to. They become your companion on the path of knowledge, helping you navigate through your thoughts and emotions. They don't necessarily need to solve your problems. Sometimes, their mere listening is enough. Their presence reminds you that you are not alone in this journey. Through conversations, you might discover pieces of wisdom from their feedback, beams of truth that help you see things from a different angle. Stoicism teaches us that life's challenges should be faced with a calm mind and community support. Your confidant is an essential part of that community, exemplifying the notion that true strength often comes from unity and sharing. Remember, moving away from a relationship does not mean isolating yourself from society entirely. Instead, those relationships can be the inspiration and strength that help you overcome the complexities of life. Finding a balance between maintaining relationships and detaching oneself from situations or people that no longer serve personal growth is not easy. Stoicism, with its profound insights into life and relationships, suggests that we all need space to breathe and reflect, and sometimes this requires separating from unhealthy elements. Talking to a trusted friend is an important lesson in this process. When sharing with a friend, you're not only heard, but also prompted to explore thoughts and feelings you might not have realized before. This is an opportunity to look more objectively at yourself and your surrounding relationships. Through exchange, you might uncover instabilities, unnecessary attachments, or even negative impacts from others that you previously overlooked. This dialogue is like filtering the murky waters of the soul, clarifying what needs to be retained and what should be let go. Stoics often emphasize managing emotions and minimizing negative external influences so that we can lead more meaningful and introspective lives. This is not an overnight process, but a journey requiring patience, self-awareness, and sometimes the courage to confront difficult truths. The support and understanding from a trusted friend are invaluable resources that help you not only recognize, but also act to change, gradually distancing yourself from what no longer fits, opening up new spaces for growth and inner peace. In this turbulent life, remember that you are not alone, and choosing which relationships to nurture is not just a right, but a responsibility you owe to yourself. Number 4, setting boundaries for your emotions. Imagine each of us as the captain of a ship navigating stormy seas. In this analogy, our emotions are the fierce waves, powerful and sometimes overwhelming. Stoicism, the timeless doctrine of self-control, teaches us not only to dodge these waves, but also to navigate them wisely and prudently. It instructs us when to let the waves carry us and when to hold the helm steady to avoid veering off our set course. Emotions are a natural part of being human, however. If unchecked, they can pull us far off our chosen path. Epictetus, a master in understanding the human psyche, reminded us that we are not disturbed by events themselves, but by how we perceive them. This understanding is key to setting boundaries for our emotions. It's like having a gatekeeper in our mind who acknowledges each guest, each emotion, but does not allow any of them to take control of the home of our soul. When anger knocks, we recognize it, understand its cause, but do not let it sit at our command table. Setting boundaries for emotions also requires us to have a dialogue with ourselves, understanding the place and role of these emotions, and gently guiding them to where they do not cloud our rationality. Practically, this could mean allowing ourselves to feel an emotion with limits, such as, for the next hour, I will allow myself to be sad about this. Then I will focus on finding solutions. This is not a denial of emotions, but managing them so they do not negatively impact us. It's a balancing act, where we acknowledge and understand our emotions, then gradually guide ourselves back to a state of equilibrium and reason. This process is not about suppression, but about regulating emotions, like adjusting the amount of sugar in your tea, enough to taste the sweetness, but not so much that it overwhelms everything else. As we learn to set boundaries for our emotions, we practice one of the most important lessons of Stoicism, detaching ourselves from people and circumstances around us. This doesn't mean we become indifferent or completely isolated, but we learn not to let the circumstances and behaviors of others control our emotions and actions. We become like a lighthouse, standing firm amid the dark seas, steadfast against the storms. For example, when someone behaves poorly, or when a situation does not go as expected, instead of immediately reacting with anger or disappointment, take a deep breath and remind yourself that you can choose how to respond. You can observe the situation objectively, not letting emotions dictate, and then make a thoughtful and calm decision. This not only protects your mind from being disturbed by external influences, but also allows you to approach every situation with clarity and effectiveness. Detaching ourselves from situations and individuals is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey of self-mastery and personal development. Every day, every moment, we are challenged to practice this self-control. It is a lifestyle, an ongoing process of striving for inner peace and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. In this way, Stoicism is not just a philosophy to ponder. It is a path to living a meaningful life and steering your own course. Number 5. Deep consideration of the consequences of deciding to self-isolate. At the moment you stand at the crossroads of separation, take the time to explore each path before you. Stoicism is not just about quick decisions, but also about careful deliberation. Imagine each path representing a potential future, each turn leading to a different outcome. Where will the path of self-isolation lead you? Will it bring peace, personal growth, and a stronger sense of self? Or will it leave behind regrets and missed opportunities? This foresight is not meant to predict the future accurately, but to prepare for it wisely. Marcus Aurelius, who once weighed the burdens of an empire, reflected, "Looking back at past empires rising and falling, you can also foresee the future." His advice mirrors the Stoic practice of using past experiences to shape future decisions. Recall the times you've chosen to isolate yourself before. What were the outcomes? Did that space bring clarity and peace, or did it lead to isolation and regret? Use these reflections as a guide, a means to learn from the past to navigate the future wisely. Consider the impact of your decision on others. Stoicism teaches us to balance personal needs with the common good. When deciding to separate, are you nurturing your own growth and contributing positively to the lives of those around you? Or might you inadvertently cause harm or misunderstanding? This isn't just about personal benefit, but about harmonizing personal well-being with the world around you. Be like someone walking in a garden, always mindful of each step to ensure they nurture growth rather than cause destruction. Stoic separation is a wise action, a carefully considered decision, not just about oneself, but also about the network of relationships we are all a part of. Imagine a man named John, an American working for an international company in China. John discovers that the stressful and negative work environment is severely affecting his well-being and creativity. He feels exhausted every day when he comes home, with no energy left for personal hobbies or socializing with friends. After much consideration, John decides that he needs a change. He chooses to leave his current job to find a new work environment where he can develop more holistically. This decision was not easy, especially facing financial uncertainties and pressure from his family in the US, who always hoped he would have a stable job. However, from the perspective of a Stoic, John understands that preserving and protecting his mental health is of utmost importance. He recognizes that a negative environment not only reduces work quality, but can also lead to serious health issues. John decides to prioritize his self-worth and inner peace, believing that only when one is at peace can they be most effective in their work and life. Through John's story, we see that in Stoicism, self-isolation is not just an act of self-protection from negative influences, but also a wise decision to rejuvenate energy and seek balance in life. This exemplifies the importance of carefully considering the consequences of each decision, a principle highly regarded by all Stoics. In your journey to understand separation and self-isolation, a Stoic viewpoint would always consider the outcomes of this action before deciding to proceed. Separation is not about escape or avoidance, but a meaningful choice aimed at creating space for reflection, growth, and maturity. As you consider detaching from people and circumstances around you, start by asking yourself important questions. What are you seeking from this isolation? Will it genuinely benefit your personal development, or is it merely a way to avoid difficulties and challenges? Stoic philosophers emphasize that the purpose of separation must be clear. It's not about distancing from the world, but about seeking clarity in mind and spirit. Next, consider the impact of your decision to separate on those around you. Isolation can cause you to lose important relationships and opportunities to learn from others. Consider whether the separation is truly worthwhile, and whether you might find a more balanced approach to engaging with the world without having to fully detach. Lastly, take the time to reflect on what you can learn from this process. Stoicism is not just about facing difficulties, but also about learning and growing from these experiences. Each moment of separation should be seen as an opportunity to contemplate and reassess what is important to you, thereby leading to clearer and more enlightened decisions and actions in the future. These pieces of advice are not just practical guidelines for those seeking to separate, but also a source of inspiration for each of us to understand more deeply why and how we choose to create our own space, while still maintaining a meaningful and healthy connection with the world around us. Number 6, temporarily stepping away from social media. Imagine your mind as a serene pond. Now picture social media as raindrops continuously disturbing its calm surface. These drops, with their endless notifications and comparisons, incessantly intrude on our peace, muddying the waters. Stoic philosophers who lived long before the digital age left us timeless wisdom to manage such disturbances. Seneca, a notable Stoic thinker, might have viewed social media as an unnecessary distraction that takes away our focus and valuable energy. Temporarily stepping away from social media allows us to reclaim our time and attention, choosing carefully where to place our energy. In today's social media world, our attention has become a valuable commodity that everyone seeks to own. By stepping back, we not only avoid the digital deluge, but also create space for our minds to breathe, think, and exist freely. It's like closing the windows to a busy street. The noise and hustle continue, but they are no longer your concern. You are in your quiet space, with room to reflect, understand deeply, and grow. A break from social media is not an act of escape, but a self-care exercise, a way to distinguish what enriches our lives from what drains us. As you pause your social media use, observe the changes in your mental landscape. Do you find yourself more calm, present, and aware of your thoughts and emotions? This awareness is at the heart of Stoic philosophy, understanding what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. We can't stop the rain from falling, but we can choose not to stand under it, enjoying the sound of rain without getting wet. A social media break in today's digital age might feel like stepping off a speeding train, but in this stillness, the clarity and freedom of the mind emerge. As you begin this break, remember Seneca's words and use this time wisely. Read a book, go for a walk, keep a journal. Engage in activities that nourish your soul, not just to pass time. This is a time to reconnect with yourself, a moment to remember who you are away from the distractions of the crowd and to return to your true self. Imagine a man named John who decides to temporarily step away from social media to challenge himself and explore life without distractions. John is a graphic designer, and in his daily life, he is constantly pressured to stay updated on social media platforms, to maintain his popularity and connect with clients. He feels chained to a ceaseless cycle of information, images, and comparisons with others. One weekend, John takes a bold step. He turns off notifications on all social media apps and decides not to log into any accounts for a month. He spends this time pursuing personal hobbies he previously didn't have time for, like reading, learning to play the guitar, and attending yoga classes. John gradually realizes that without being swept up in the endless stream of virtual information, he has more time to focus on what truly matters to him, like creating art and deepening connections with family and friends. This change not only reduces John's stress, but also enhances his presence and awareness of the life around him. He begins to enjoy the simple moments of daily life, from his son's laughter to the beauty of the morning sky. John discovers that while social media can be a useful tool, it cannot replace the value of face-to-face interactions and the genuine experiences that bring happiness and satisfaction. When the trial month ends, John returns to social media with a fresh perspective and decides to continue limiting his usage. He has learned a valuable lesson in a world where everything seems to happen at the speed of light. Finding quiet moments to reconnect with oneself and those around is essential for maintaining balance and happiness. This is a Stoic lesson in controlling what we allow to impact our lives and finding inner peace. Number 7. Delving into what truly matters to you. Explore yourself further in this final step of your enlightening journey. Direct your inner attention towards your true strength and desires. It is at this point that the essence of Stoicism becomes clear. As we focus on what truly matters, those things that nourish the soul and enhance our inner strength. This is not about material desires, but about seeking serenity, moral integrity, and personal growth. Imagine your life as a garden waiting to be tended. The question is, what does this garden need to flourish? Just as sunlight, water, and care are necessary for the growth of plants, identifying and nurturing the essential needs of your soul and spirit is crucial. Epictetus, a philosopher who grew up in poverty, emphasized the importance of focusing on what is necessary. His teachings are a lesson in discernment, separating the precious grains from the worthless chaff, retaining only what is truly valuable. True richness comes not from possessing many items, but from not being greedy. Apply this lesson to your spiritual life. It is important to know what you need to feel fulfilled, at peace, and stable. Sometimes, less is more in today's world full of choices and distractions. Practice simplicity and seek depth in each moment, whether it's quiet moments alone, meaningful conversations with friends, or engaging in a beloved hobby. Identify these and prioritize them in your life, as if you were packing for a trip, carrying only what is necessary and adds value to your journey. This intentional focus helps you eliminate the unnecessary from relationships to situations that do not align with your basic needs. By shaping your life around these things, you build a solid foundation for profound contentment. This is not just a one-time act, but a continuous process, a constant return to what truly matters in life. This focus becomes a compass, guiding you through life's complexities, providing clarity and purpose. Living a conscious life, not just existing. You will discover the true essence of Stoicism, a life lived purposefully, with wisdom and inner peace. One of Marcus Aurelius's most famous quotes, a philosophical Roman emperor and one of the great Stoics, deeply reflects this spirit. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This quote is not just a reminder of the power of will, but also a guide on how to live a life detached and independent of external influences. In the context of intentionally focusing on your basic needs, Aurelius's statement offers a powerful lesson in self-mastery. Controlling your mind relates not only to resisting external temptations, but also to a deep awareness of what truly matters to you, separating from people and situations that do not serve your ultimate purpose. This requires a thorough understanding of your inner needs and the courage to let go of the unnecessary or what does not add real value to your life. Viewing Aurelius's quote through a Stoic lens, we see that focusing on basic needs is not just about physical or material aspects, but also about mental and emotional ones. It requires a conscious choice to nurture qualities like inner peace, resilience, and wisdom, elements that truly make a life rich and meaningful. This approach not only helps us overcome challenges, but also opens the door to finding tranquility and satisfaction in every moment of life. By applying Aurelius' advice, you not only achieve a detachment from unnecessary elements, but also enhance your ability to self-govern. This not only gives you the strength to live true to yourself, but also provides you with the tools to build a truly fulfilling and sustainable life. This is a journey of true freedom, a life unbound by external expectations or fleeting desires, but led by wisdom and clear purpose. In the journey of facing life's challenges and difficulties, Stoicism has become a profound source of inspiration and a compass to help us navigate through storms. Stoicism teaches us not only how to live, but also how to live better by taking a step back, deeply considering our actions and choices, thus forming a more proactive and mindful approach to life. Stoicism encourages us to engage in transparent dialogues, establish clear boundaries for our emotions, and focus on contemplating the consequences of each decision. This helps us avoid impulsive or negative reactions, instead fostering intentional responses that yield long-term benefits. We are taught to rest and withdraw from the negative influences of our surroundings, such as pressures from social media, and to focus more deeply on caring for our real, significant needs. In Stoicism, detachment is never about emotional numbness. Instead, it's a firm step towards inner peace and resilient strength. This allows us not only to face but also to overcome the complexities in relationships and life's challenges more robustly. We believe that the principles of Stoicism can shine like a beacon, guiding us to a life filled with virtue, wisdom, and spiritual strength. We aspire not only to share this philosophy, but also to hear how you apply these lessons in your everyday life. Please leave a comment below about your experiences with Stoicism, the changes you've made, or the challenges you are striving to overcome. Our community is always ready to listen and support you on this journey. If you find this message helpful and want to learn more about the power of Stoicism, please like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to share the video with friends and family. Let's build a strong community, matured from Stoic teachings. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any insightful videos from us as we continue to explore and share the knowledge of Stoicism.